Seth Rollins earned a future shot at the WWE Championship following his win in a fatal four-way ladder match last week against Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and Rey Mysterio. WWE.com's official preview for last night's show teased what plans the Messiah could have in store for Biggie. The only other segment advertised ahead of time was Bianca Belair challenging Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship in the opening match. Let's take a look at everything that happened on last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. Hello, friends, and welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube today. A special Tuesday night installment of Ridiculously Raw this time around. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined by, I know, a very excited and yet nervous at the same time, good old MF Michael Fletcher. I know his mind is elsewhere right now, but, and rightfully so. And then, of course, we got the Twisted Angel and the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson. We are awaiting possibly the presence of the Phenom Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then hopefully we'll have him back with us tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Mayhem. Special night last night. Great night last night. Myself, MF, and Michael Bullock, we did what we set out to do. We went to the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island, and we took in Monday Night Raw, episode 1484. Whereas Dee Dee Woodson watched it from the comfort of her own home in Alliance, Ohio. And wow, what a night. First WWE show at the Dunk in 895 days. The last one was May 21st of 2019. That was a SmackDown Live. The last time Raw was at the Dunk, October 22nd of 2018, 1,106 days. A lot of it because of the pandemic, obviously, but nonetheless, I can't tell you how blessed and grateful I was to be there last night with MF and with Bullock, doing something we've been wanting to do for a long time. And, this pandemic, kiboshed two opportunities for WWE to be at the Dunk. April 13th, they were scheduled to do a Raw. COVID put a kibosh on it. It was pushed back to September 18th for a Friday Night SmackDown. That did not happen. But last night, it finally did happen. And we're going to do things a little differently. Myself and MF, and if he shows up, Michael Bullock, we will give our take based on how we saw it in the arena itself. Dee Dee Woodson will do as she always does, how it came out on TV. So with all that being said, let's dive right on into this. Last night, Monday Night Raw, live, as I said, from the aforementioned Dunkin' Donuts Center, formerly the Providence Civic Center, Providence, Rhode Island, on the USA Network. And we started it off, and what a way to start it off. A Raw Women's Championship matchup. The champion, the man, Becky Lynch, defending the title against the challenger and former SmackDown Women's Champion, the EST, Bianca Belair. The winner of the match in 18 minutes and 40 seconds, and still the Raw Women's Champion, the man, Becky Lynch. We could easily make an argument for Fight of the Night on this. I got to give this somewhere in excess of 4.25, teetering on 4.5, but I'm leaning more towards 4.25 stars. This was a fun match from the moment the opening bell rang until the referee made the 3 count. Both women looked strong, but Belair had the most standout moments. The finish was good and fine because it protects Belair and gives her an argument for why she still deserves to be in the Raw Women's Championship picture. Becky Lynch did a great job playing up her new heel persona without cheating too much, so when she won with a dirty trick, it was a little more surprising. If there is one complaint to be had, it's that they felt like they were rushing a bit at times. Nothing they did looked sloppy, but they didn't spend a ton of time selling. But from if you were in that arena with us last night, oh my word, it was loud. And man alive. I mean, I tried to get the video of it to post on my social media, but unfortunately, due to a shoddy internet connection within the DDC, it failed to upload, and I was not happy about that. I was trying to get that for you guys, but I did come through with some content like I promised, so it was better than nothing, even though there were some other things I was trying to get there, but unfortunately, it failed to upload. I'm not happy about it, but, at least I did get some things that like I promised. But nonetheless, though, we could probably make the argument that this was the fight of the night. Very surprising that they went with this to start. This is easily a main event caliber match, but obviously Monday Night Football. That's probably why they did it. So that's all there was to say on that. But fantastic match though, no doubt about that. 4.25 stars, easily make the argument for fight of the night. So there isn't much more to say on this. So. MF, come on in. First off, have you recovered from last night? And how did you feel from inside the arena?
I felt you could feel the energy in that arena. That match really set the tone for the whole night at the Civic Center last night at the Dunk. It was really a solid match, and the body of work of everybody involved was incredible. I mean, I don't know how you're going to hear about it, Didi, but it definitely was a very pro Becky Lynch crowd in the Dunk.
Absolutely.
They definitely were rooting for Becky. There was a few EST chants. So in the verge of it, they were trying to make it sound like it unless you hear it, I think on TV, they probably made it sound like a 50-50, but honestly, I'm going to say that was more of a 70-30 for Becky Lynch. Becky got the bigger pops. Becky got the bigger support. You could say that Providence definitely loves the man more than the EST on this night. And, I think it's because you could even say it. Providence felt like that was really more of I'm going to say more of an IWC crowd than anything else. But they were definitely feeling it. They were definitely invested in this match. And these ladies absolutely tore the house down. So, yeah, 4 stars, 4.25. I'll give you that, Anthony. I really think that the only drawback was the ending. I think if it would have been a little more cleaner, I think the rating would have been a lot more higher. But just because of the fact that, and even we were talking about it, and that was, we had a feeling that maybe there's a chance we have a new champion here. We kind of were talking about, maybe this could be the night the EST wins it. It's Providence. We've had title changes or something massive happen in Providence before, and this time around it didn't happen. So I mean, we're not going to fault any mistake. It wasn't any fault. It was just this was an incredible match. The energy in the arena was palpable. It felt like a pay-per-view quality match. That's what this match was. So nothing more to say, Didi. It is all yours, my dear.
I wish I could say that it came off that way on the television, but actually I think WWE potted in sounds because they tried to make it sound like everybody was more for Bianca than Becky. So to me, it was really not as great of a match as what you guys are describing. So, but from what I understand, everything's always better when you're live. So, because you actually get the pump of the crowd for that. When you're watching on TV, you don't really get the crowd reaction as much. But, for me, I don't know why they didn't do this type of match in the first place. And, when Becky first came back, because it was definitely a better match than what these two have had before. And it would have made a lot more sense, and it would have made both ladies look a lot better than having the little short match that they had when Becky came back. It was solid. there's a little sloppiness, but it was solid, and they have a lot of chemistry together. So yeah, I mean, there's not anything really bad that I can say about it, but I'm only going to give it like a 3.5 to 4 because, like I said, it didn't come off on the TV as great as what it does when you guys are live. So I'm going to give it to you, Florio.
All right, fair enough, Dee. I forgot to mention beforehand, before Raw went on the air, they taped 2 matches for WWE main event. And in those 2 matches, Liv Morgan defeated Tamina and Cedric Alexander defeated Jackson Riker. So just wanted to catch you up on that real quick. So now back to the main show. Next up on the fight card, old school versus new school in this matchup. It was Rey Mysterio with son Dominic squaring off against Austin Theory. Austin Theory wins the match via disqualification in 10.5 minutes due to quote-unquote outside interference from Rey's son Dominic. And Dominic and F and I, and Bullock, we saw it, and I'm sure Dee saw it on TV as well. Dominic nails Austin Theory. It looked like the ref didn't really see it, but then the ref, got suspicious and he ended up calling for the DQ. And MF, we talked about it as we were leaving. We talked about it, and you heard those fans. Those fans. They were pissed. They were pissed at I believe the referee was rocking Rod Zapata for this one.
Rod Zapata is definitely enemy number 1 in Providence, Rhode Island. He better not come back to this city the next time out, because boy, they let him have it. There was a big chant of "Ref, you suck" on that one. But the thing is, it pushes the narrative. Look, Dominic was known as a little bit of a hothead. He let Austin Theory get in his head. And at the moment, he gave him a little bit of a sucker punch. And oh boy, did me, Florio, and Bullock play off that angle from last night. And we played this angle really well. I wish we had actual commentary. I wish Anthony would have had that moment. Because we did play an angle off that, and oh my goodness, it was hilarious, Didi. You would have been like, Fletch, really? Come on. But I was playing the heel commentator on that night, so and I played it to the T. And yeah, this was a great. It was an okay match. It was solid for what it was worth. I could give this about 2.5 stars. I kind of felt like the match was slow and plotty in certain points, but you could feel, again, the energy in the crowd was definitely for Rey more than anything else. Really, anything else other than that was basically simpatico. So Rey definitely got a great ovation. The match was solid. And then but the ending kind of was left a little bit of a bitter taste in the mouth. I think we all were hoping for something a little better than that. But, it is what it is. It was solid. I'm not going to say it was the greatest thing in the world, but it was more of a 2.5 star match for me. So, Didi, it's yours.
This one time I can agree with you on the rating. It was definitely about a 2.5 star match. Yeah, Theory got to brag a little bit more about how he won, even though, it was because of a disqualification. But it came off on the TV as if the ref did not actually see Dominic hit him. The angle that they had the camera, it looked like the ref's back was more to it, and the only way the ref would have known is he would have had to heard him hit Austin. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to really talk about on the match. It was a good match. Yeah, it was slow and clunky at parts. But for the most part, it really came out to be pretty good. So, 2.5 stars for me. So, Florio, it's yours.
With all due respect, I feel like you guys kind of underscored this one. I thought this was a very good match. 3.25 for me, although I'm leaning towards 3 because of that ridiculous DQ finish there. But other than that, I mean, this was a good match full of well-executed moves by both superstars, but it felt like they were holding back just a bit for some reason. They were right on the cusp of making this great. The DQ finish is not ideal, but it kind of makes sense for the story WWE is building with everyone. Theory gets the win to keep his streak going, while Rey and Dominic will continue to develop friction because of how this played out. They did a good job making the match competitive despite Theory's significant height, power, and weight advantages. It's wild that Rey can still perform at this level after over 25 years in the business. He's 47 years old, and he's still doing things that he's still moving like he's 27 or something like that. It's crazy, but unreal. And it makes me respect him even more and more that he's still doing it at a high level after all these years. Unreal. 3 stars for me. 4th best fight of the night. This came in at number 4. So not much more to say on that. Let's move on to the big segment here. The WWE, it was Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins and that very loud pyro. Ask good old MF Michael Fletcher. He'll tell you that firsthand. And yeah, I'm right there with you, MF. Yeah, definitely made my heart jump a gazillion feet high. That's all there is to say on that. And whoa. Okay. So Seth Rollins came out. He cut the promo, interrupted by the WWE champ. Well, actually, no. We actually had another match. These notes are a little out of order here. All right. No, the women's match was after. All right. So this was the segment. Seth Rollins interrupted by Biggie and then interrupted by Kevin Owens. And oh boy, you want to talk about playing with the crowd. Big E, was getting so sick and tired of Seth Rollins that he was saying, how about we have our title match tonight? And we were there, MF and I, we were part of that crowd. We were trying to egg them on. We were egging them on. They were egging them on if they ever did. They were saying, yeah, and we even broke out in yes chants. Didi, you should have been there. Oh my goodness. I mean, if only you were there. Oh my goodness. I mean, yes chants. We broke out yes chants. Yes, he may not be with WWE anymore. He may be in AEW, but they're still breaking out the yes chants. What an atmosphere. It was amazing. But Seth Rollins said no. And then Kevin Owens said, you know what? Hey, Big E, how about you and me go for the first time ever tonight? And so Big E accepts. So we have our main event for later in the evening. It would be Big E versus Kevin Owens, and a very interesting ending to that one as well. So, but before we get there, Didi Woodson, I mean, how did this come off on TV for you?
Well, I can definitely agree with Kevin Owens on the suit. I mean, Rollins' suit was just really kind of
what was that?
Ridiculous.
Agreed.
Yeah, good question. What was the suit? It was just awful. But yeah, the segment itself came off pretty well. I mean, the pyro, yeah, I'd be louder to you guys and all that kind of stuff because you were there. For us that wasn't there, we don't get to experience that type of thing through the television. So that part doesn't come off quite as well. But yeah, I mean, it was still a pretty good segment. I like the way the three of them went off on each other, and a little bit later on in the night, I like the backstage segment we had with Owens and Rollins also. So yeah, it was a fairly good segment. And I like the fact that it led up to Owens facing Big E. Something we hadn't really seen a lot of. It was a good change of pace for Raw to have something like that come in out of this. So yeah, I enjoyed the segment. It was very well done, but yeah, I don't think it comes off on the TV as well as it does in the arena. So, which is why my rating for the last match was the way it was, because I don't get that experience through the TV that you guys get from there. So it made more sense for mine being low. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. I could probably call this the segment of the night by default. I mean, it was a wrestling heavy show. Another strong segment. I can't remember, but then again, we were there. I mean, when was the last time we enjoyed the first hour and change of Raw this so very much? I mean, I doubt it was going that way, but I doubt it's going this way. But many would enjoy an Owens heel turn and an alliance with Rollins, but I highly doubt it. But that said, he teased it in his promo. He stated that deal is expiring soon. His contract, obviously. So I can't blame WWE if they don't want to invest that much in him if he's still unsigned. But nonetheless, though, the promo that he cut was very well done. One of his better ones. And that segment just came out so great. I mean, and that crowd, though. I mean, our fellow fans made that segment what it was. I mean, and then when we broke out into the yes chants, I was like, oh my goodness, that was hella fun. So I don't know what else there is to say except this was the segment of the night. Very well done. And MF, I mean, we were there. I mean, that crowd. Wow, that crowd was egging these guys on. We were thinking for a minute, oh, come on. We already had a Raw Women's title match. What would have happened if we had gotten the payoff? If we had gotten Biggie and Seth Rollins in a legit title match? Whoa.
Oh man, that would have been insane. But I also would have been a little nervous for Big E because Providence and title matches, sometimes history is made in that building. I would have been a little nervous. And if I remember correctly, yeah, we had a little bit of a screwy finish the last time the WWE title was on the line, which was Rollins versus Ambrose, and it was a double pin. But I think the other time before, there was the Money in the Bank cash-in, and that actually ended up being a successful title defense. So, I mean, you never know. I think the last time the WWE title changed hands in Providence, I believe, is Randy Orton. When Orton won it in that unique six-man tag team championship, unique six-man tag team title fight, where Randy Orton walked out the WWE champion.
Indeed.
So, without a doubt, incredible. But I mean, you got to see it. We'll see it. We'll know how it goes. But man, alive, what a night! What a night! As far as Big E goes, yeah, you could say it. He definitely was trying to roast and everything else, trying to get that situation, and it was very, very, very interesting. That was definitely looking very strong. We were egging him on. One thing's for sure, my boy, one of my friends who was there last night, was yelling about how about the suit. We all were talking about that suit. Oh my Lord. Yeah, the pyro definitely had us jumping a little bit. I even had this special headset that normally is used for construction workers. My ears are a little sensitive, so when it comes to pyrotechnics, me and that we don't get along. Let's say that. So I was gonna put some earplugs and then put the headset on, but even then, I don't know if that would have saved me. But still, that pyro, and it wasn't just the pyro; it was the heat flames. Heat flames we were cool with, but it was that kaboom that had us like, fuck. Oh, sorry. My bad, folks. I should not have said that. I gotta remember PG show. My bad. Sorry. But you know how it goes. So then yeah, when the segment happened, we're like, when Biggie was talking about it, Anthony started freaking out. Bullock were freaking out. I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna get this. I don't know if we're gonna get this. But he called it. The place went nuts. They were saying yes, yes, yes. I'm like, oh no, the yes movement, that chant. No, I don't want to hear that. So it was great. It was awesome. It was amazing. And yeah, Rollins being the prototypical heel. I love what Owens did, ripping on Rollins, but also calling his shot. And the thing is, I loved his speech. I thought it was the most impassionate, most powerful promo that Kevin Owens has done in a very long time. I really enjoyed it. So nothing more to say. Anthony, back to you.
Yeah. Now we're gonna move on to this women's tag team matchup. It was a non-title match. We had the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley, squaring off against Queen Zelina Vega and Carmella. Winners of the match in 8 minutes and 15 seconds, Queen Zelina Vega and Carmella. All 4 women helped make this a decent match that established the next feud for the women's tag titles, but it left a lot of room for improvement. Queen Zelina and Carmella are a good match for each other. It's too bad WWE broke up all of the other teams in the division during the draft. But other than that, I'm actually gonna give this 2.5 stars for the effort. So that's all there is to say on this. So I'm gonna let this guy have his fun here because MF. But I don't know if you've seen her before in Providence before, but
we've seen her before in Providence. We've seen her before
that's right. Yes,
with Andrade Cien Almas.
Andrade, yes.
But
one of those SmackDowns. But I know this one had to be the most special because of her winning the Queen's crown. And if you want to do your little heel commentary routine, feel free.
No. I to save Dee Woodson, because I know she'll probably threaten me with a checkered apron on it. I will be nice and be as professional as I can be tonight. I was definitely playing it up to the T last night. Anthony knows it. Michael Bullock can agree with you.
I saw it in your eyes, MF. I saw it in your eyes. You had the hard eye emoji. You had the hard eye emoji. Admit it.
Yes. Admit it. Okay. I admit it. I was definitely in love with the Queen. There's no doubt about it. You know this, Florio. But she is taken. She's married. So I gotta, I can look, but I just can't go any more than that. But all 4 did really well. Nikki ASH was really good. Rhea was strong. She looked amazing in this match. Carmella did her thing. I'm not digging the mask though. I'm not really into that sequin mask. It's nice. And look at who got the win. It was Zelina getting the win over Nikki ASH. I think that was the right thing to do. And like you said,
Championship committee.
I was about to say that championship committee moment. So that definitely will now play a factor down the line. There's really nothing more to add. 2.5 stars. Dee, it's yours. I'm just going to step away for a minute, and I'll be right back.
Sounds good. All right. Yeah, I can probably give this about 2 stars. There was a little sloppiness, all around, but, it was still pretty entertaining. I mean, it wasn't, that wasn't that super bad, but I'm not a big fan of Carmella's mask. I think it's kind of ridiculous, just about as ridiculous as Sheamus's mask. But Vega and Carmella did do a great job working together. And yeah, I would definitely agree with the championship committee moment. So Not much more I'm going to say. Like I said, about 2 stars. So it's yours, Florio.
Wow. Yep, I 100% agree about the mask, Didi. There's no doubt about that. That's definitely a little on the I definitely consider that a trifle unnecessary. No doubt about that. 100% agree with that. But it was a surprisingly good match. I wasn't expecting much, but wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So pleasant surprise to say the very least. So next up we had Finn Balor. Oh, that entrance. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Finn Balor one-on-one with Chad Gable. Finn Balor wins the match, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And believe it or not, it was not with the coup de grace. It was actually, or the coup de grace, as that funny little play that one of our favorites here on YouTube, Luchi PS3. You know how she is with that. She called it the coup de grace, many years ago, and it stuck with us, especially me. And I decided to incorporate that as one of our running gags here. But no, it was not that. He actually won with a nice wrestling maneuver. So, MF, I don't know if you're back in yet, but if you are, okay, he is. Okay, good. So Finn Balor defeats Chad Gable, 5:45. Finn countered and won this match with a very, very nice wrestling maneuver, no doubt about it. But how cool is that entrance live?
Oh man, I think you said it best. Balor Club in Providence, and the crowd was so for it, man. The crowd was feeling it. The crowd was loving it. To see Balor come out, it was awesome, man. I was feeling it. The energy was alive. When you have one of the best in the game today, with Finn Balor, the crowd that like you could feed the energy in the building. It was that amazing. Yes, it was awesome. It was incredible. The match itself was fine for what it was worth. I was a little surprised at the way that the match ended because he had a moment where he went into the drop zone and it looked like he was going for the coup de grace, but he couldn't get it. Great wrestling maneuvers by Chad Gable to make it or turn the match into a little bit of a better match than it was initially. But at the end of the day, nothing more to say. The right man won, and I really would love to see what's gonna come down the pipeline with this, because it looks like there might be a possible matchup between him and there might be a possible matchup down the line between him and Otis, because you saw Otis try to get a hand on Balor, but it was already too late. Balor had already slipped out of the ring, and it's a good thing he did, because I don't know what would have happened if Otis would have got his hands on the Prince. I think it would have been that could have gone all kinds of wrong in Providence, but he got out of there just in time. Big win for Balor, nice bounce win for Balor, and I'll say 2.5 stars. So, Didi, it's yours.
Yeah, it was a very good match. It came off really good here. They did amazing work. I love the way it ended. No, not real crazy about Omas coming out, but it is what it is. Or Otis, I mean, getting involved. But yeah, great match. For me, I'm going to rate it probably about 3 stars. It was very well done. So, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
I 100% agree with you, Didi Woodson, on that. Solid 3 stars. Fun little sprint. What else is there to say? I mean, if only this had gotten more time. Oh my goodness, this could have been even better. WWE has all the tools necessary to put on a great show every week. Booking matches like this is a great way to ensure your show will have some high quality wrestling for the fans to enjoy. Chad Gable is one of the best technicians in WWE, but rarely gets a chance to show it. Facing Finn Balor allowed him to shine as an individual against someone else who is considered to be at the top of his game. Otis had no involvement in the match or the outcome, which was actually a nice change of pace. This bout had a completely clean finish, and it helped make it more enjoyable. So, solid 3 stars for this. Fun little sprint. No question about that. Next up, tag team action. The Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins squaring off against the Dirty Dogs, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. With the Raw Tag Team Champions, RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Riddle, with a brand new entrance theme, mind you, that we got to hear for the very first time. It debuted right here last night. And they sat in on commentary with Jimmy Smith, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. At the end of the night, the Dirty Dogs actually won the match in 10 minutes and 55 seconds. So, Didi, again, I'll say it. If only you were in the arena with us, especially near the end of that match when Omas got involved and Randy Orton was.
Yeah. I'm sure it was a lot more crowd interaction with that than what we actually got on TV. I was really surprised to see Dawkins go after Omos, though, at the end of the match. That was, that was guts right there. It may have had a rough start, but it was still, pretty good distraction, good match, even with the distraction from Omos that did suck. I don't really like the interruptions like that, but it happens. I think I'll give this probably about 3 stars. It was a pretty good match, and it was nice to hear the new theme music, and just to see them out there out there by the commentary during the match. That was great. Some of the looks from Riddle during certain parts of the match was awesome to see those looks on the screen. For me, it was a fairly good match. So I'm not gonna say much more. Cheers, Florio.
Yeah, another 3.25 star match here. This match started off good and continued to pick up steam as it went. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler are great opponents for Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins because their veteran experience allows them to work with anybody at a high level. The distraction finish wasn't ideal, but it's not the end of the world. All of these teams are circling the tag titles, so it wouldn't be surprising to see them end up in some kind of multi-team match at Survivor Series, although I don't know if they're going to do that because I got a feeling it's going to be tag champions versus tag champions. Maybe they may bring back the tag team style elimination match. That would be hella fun that we got to see in those first 2 Survivor Series in 87 and 88, which both of them stole the damn show on those respective nights. But WWE teased Randy Orton and Omas fighting only to cut away to a replay, followed by a backstage interview with the United States Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest. And believe me, we're going to have a lot to say about that match in a moment. It was a bit of a downer ending to an otherwise entertaining tag team match. 3 to 3.25 stars, another very good match. And MF, you can attest to this as I give it to you. And I know it brought a Cheshire Cat grin to your face. Our fellow fans, they were with you. Those Randy chants, oh my word.
Yeah, that place was going bonkers for Randy Orton. I'm gonna say it. Randy is monster over in Providence, man. I don't know what it is. Randy has commanded the respect of the fans in Providence, Rhode Island. Does not matter when, where, how, if he's a face, if he's a heel, whatever the case may be. Randy Orton is without a doubt one of the biggest stars in WWE today. And he was electric, to say the very least. It was an absolute joy and a privilege to see him once again in Providence, and it was awesome what he did with Riddle this time around. And Riddle was playing it. He was playing for the crowd and you know when they got when the Randy chant was going, he was trying to hype the crowd to keep going, to keep that energy up, because I think he's just like everybody else. He's a fan of Randy Orton, man. He respects Orton. He thinks that Orton is such a big star, and you know, without a doubt, Orton is a star. At the end of the day, it was not what we expected. It was the match was all right. But when Omas showed up, oh my God, did the mood change in the building? Because Omas, man, he's a one-man wrecking crew, man. When he rolled out, you saw the Gestapo, the referees, the officials trying to get their hands on Omas, tell him, hey, you can't be here. Get out of here. Get out of here. You know, you gotta go. You gotta go back to the locker room. You can't be out here. Oh no, he was on a mission. He was on a killing mission, and yeah, he destroyed again. And then if you notice, Riddle tried, Randy trying to hold Riddle back, say no, don't go, don't, stay out of it. Riddle went out, and you saw what happened next. That's why Randy got pissed. But I think Randy was more pissed got pissed because he was trying to protect a Riddle, and Riddle went out and tried to get involved where probably he should not have. Put Orton in a bad spot. Orton got pissed, and we thought we were going to see a brawl between Orton and we thought Orton and Omas were about to go, but unfortunately didn't happen. So yeah, really nothing more to add here. It was a good match for what it was worth. It was about maybe 2.5, and yeah, nothing more to say. So Anthony, it's yours.
And in another instance of egging the crowd egging, doing some egging on MF. I mean, especially towards the end when Randy Orton and Omas were about to get it on.
Oh yeah, but the thing was, Orton was pissed.
Oh, yeah.
He was furious.
Oh,
he wanted it too. He wanted it Omas's head, but didn't happen, unfortunately.
And we're still waiting for the moment when he drops the big guy with an RKO.
Oh yeah, still waiting for it.
I was hoping we would have had it by now. I was hoping SummerSlam at first, and then MF made the bold prediction that it was going to happen in front of the Saudis, but unfortunately that didn't happen either. So, but anyways, all right, we got to get into this. On paper, when you hear a match like of this magnitude, you're thinking, oh, this is going to suck. This is not going to be good at all. It was the United States heavyweight champion, Damian Priest, squaring off against T-Bar. Yes, a rematch of last week, but the thing is, it was a no disqualification match. Winner of the match, in an even 13 minutes, Damian Priest wins the match. Sleeper fight of the night. 3.5 stars, maybe even 3 3/4. This was far and away the best performance we have seen from T-Bar on the main roster since he was known as Dominik Dijakovic in NXT. He and Damian Priest took each other to the limits in this no disqualification match. They used tables, chairs, kendo sticks, and every part of the ring to inflict punishment. It would have been nice. It would have been nice if T-Bar kind of got the win and earned a future title opportunity. But either outcome would have been fine with a match that was this much fun. I didn't really have any high hopes going into it, but yeah, it may have been a little rough in some parts. But I don't give a damn. This was the sleeper fight of the night, and I was beyond pleasantly surprised with how great this turned out. This was easily 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Second, maybe third best fight of the night on the scorecard. It's right around that area. But there isn't much more to say. Didi Woodson, listen very carefully to what me and MF have to say about this. You already heard my piece. So, MF, I bring you on in. All I can say is the kendo stick shots by T-Bar on Priest. But then when Damian Priest nailed T-Bar with that chair, MF, what else is there to say?
Yeah, and I will openly admit, the crowd turned on this fight at the very beginning. A lot of fans were yelling boring. They were not liking the match.
CM Punk chants.
Huh? CM Punk chants. Yup. It was slow. It was plotty. And even I was like, oh, this is not good at all. But let me tell you, the minute the weapons came out was when the match really turned on its head. It literally started to really turn into a whole different level. The minute Priest got caught up in the ropes, where he hung him on the ropes and then blasted him with the kendo stick, breaking the kendo stick halfway through, and then was going to use it like a spear on him. And then once Damian Priest went into that dark place, that demon dark era, and he started beating the daylights out of him with the chair. Oh my God, the place was going bonkers. The place was going wild, and then the table spot was absolutely phenomenal. Had me channeling my Joey Styles, and Anthony can contest to this. I did yell out, "Oh my God!"
Oh my God!
Yep. Maybe not in that way, but I did. And yeah, it was an unbelievable ending. It was slow and plotty in certain points, but man, when the weapons got involved, that's when the fun began, and that's when the fight turned. The crowd was into it. The energy was alive, and when it was all said and done, that was a steal. That was a show stealer of a match. No doubt about it. 3 to 3.5 is definitely the right rating for the match. I'm going to say it. Arena made that match better than what it was.
That chair shot, though.
The chair shots. The first one, when he blasted when he blasted T-Bar with it.
We did it. We did the Gorilla and Jesse. We did the whoa.
Because I was like, oh my God. The first shot and then the repeat shots were absolutely like, the first shot sounded like a gunshot went off. That's how bad the first shot was.
Oh, my ears are still ringing from it.
Oh yeah. God. Like you heard the smack of it, and it was absolutely devastating. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, we all did the whoa. Even Bullock joined us.
Yeah. And one other thing I will openly admit, if you saw the photos, because they've posted the photos now on Twitter.
Yep, Bill McConnell shared it with us.
Huh?
Bill, your mentor, Bill McConnell, shared it with us. Bill
McConnell shared it. But if you saw the I want to say from the abdomen down, where that rib cage is, from the chest down,
unbelievable.
You could see where the welts are from that kendo stick. I mean, he got lit with those shots. Like,
and the stick broke.
Everybody was always saying, "Oh, wrestling's fake. Wrestling's this." Yeah, look at what happened to freaking Damian Priest, and you tell me that crap is not real. Nothing more to say. I'm done. Didi, it's yours.
And Didi, before you go, I just want to say one quick thing, and that is, you know how I always like to sign off. Remember what I always say, in homage to our dear friends Cody Boynes and the legendary Talking Wrestling show, which inspired this show in the first place. I always say, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real.
Yep.
It can't be, completely fake because these guys do put their bodies on the line, but they do get hurt. That part is real. The only things that are really fake about it is, the storylines and stuff like that. But no, them actually fighting in the ring, most of that is real, and they do really come out hurt. And I mean, you've seen them stretch it out. Sometimes the left lane would be uninsured. There's fake injuries. Hey, bro. Yeah. What do you do for a living? Get the fuck out of here. I pretty much agree with sausage. How big is sausage? My sausage? Yes. Big enough for you? Yeah, whether or not you like huge accurate.
I can barely hear you, Dee Dee.
Sorry, I went in the back room and yeah, I saw the photo. I could see all the whelps on them. So yeah, it was very, very, very. There's a lot of. If I can get my words right. There was a lot of action, a lot of use of the weapons, a lot and everything. It was a very well done match, and these guys pretty much tore it up. So yeah, and definitely T-Bar was a lot more like his NXT persona in this match instead of the T-Bar persona. He acted more like I can't say the name.
Dominic Dijakovic.
Yes, thank you, because that's hard for me to say. Yeah, he was more like that than he was when he first started out as T-Bar, and then the post match with Apollo and Commander coming out. That was a really good segment there. Or I guess mini segment, after the match, where Cruz is wanting to have the title match. So yeah, I mean, it was very well done. And then, so I don't really have too much more to say about it. So it's yours for you.
Man, what a match! That's all there is to say. So, whew. But anyways, we were so caught up in the excitement of that match. Dee Dee brought up a great point. I forgot to mention it. Caught up in all the excitement. Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz came out, and Apollo cut a promo, and it looks like Apollo wants the next shot at Damian Priest in the United States Heavyweight Championship. So maybe we'll see that down the road. We'll see. So keep that in mind. Next up, there was a backstage segment. Sarah Shriver interviewing the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch, coming off her successful title defense against Bianca Belair. She said, "Oh, Bianca, you're done. You're it's the back of the line, the end of the line for you." And she's like, "Yeah, who's gonna try to stop me now?" Enter Liv Morgan, who has been beyond criminally underutilized. I mean, they've been pushing her for a while, and well, I'll tell you what. MF didn't really see it because he had other business to take care of at that time. But Bullock and I can attest. We saw Liv Morgan's main event match against Tamina, and yeah, it may have been a whole hum diva fight, but it was actually okay. It was probably about a 2 or so star match. But I'm trying to make is Liv Morgan looked pretty darn good in that match, and she definitely had a big following here. So perhaps Liv Morgan might be the next challenger for the man in the Raw Women's Championship. That would be that would be as fresh of a matchup as you can get. I mean, and that's one I would love to see down the road. I really would, and I'm sure my fellow cohorts here will agree with that. So, but anyways, moving on, and then there was that backstage segment that Dee Dee mentioned about Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, and it led into the main event of the evening, non-title match, the WWE Champion Biggie one-on-one with Kevin Owens. Biggie wins the match. 12 minutes and 50 seconds. MF, your thoughts on the main event?
I thought it was a solid main event. I thought it was a very good match. This was about 3 to 3.25 stars. I thought, as far as a big man fight goes, this was really well. Rollins trying to interject towards the end definitely caused a little bit of some friction. And you notice Rollins did get involved. He hit Biggie. Owens kind of looked around saying, you know what? The hell with that. I'm going to try to go for the win here. And he did. He tried to go for a win. Next thing you know, got caught up in a crucifix pin. 1, 2, 3. Biggie wins. And then what made it very interesting was look at what happened after the match. Owens was like, look, I had no idea. Biggie was really pissed at Owens, thinking, you try to screw me on this? What the hell? I thought we were going to have an honest one-on-one match. And you saw it happen at the end where Big E dropped a big ending on Kevin Owens. And then basically made his intentions known. Don't you ever pull a stunt like that ever again when you're going up against me next time. But this was before the fact when Kevin Owens basically did a couple of not-so-PG moments and had us all going, oh my goodness, basically calling out Seth Rollins. And yes, we can confirm it. Next week, Seth Rollins will go one-on-one with Kevin Owens on Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, decent main event. Didi, it's yours.
Didi, are you there?
Yeah, I had stepped away for a moment. Yeah, it was a really good main event. I enjoyed it. No, not real thrilled that Rollins came out, and yeah, I can see Big E's point. On thinking that Rollins was working with Owens, especially after the little backstage segment that I'm sure he watched as well. So yeah, I mean, it was very well done. I'm going to give it about 3.5 stars. Kind of a cheap ending, but the match itself was not bad. It was a great main event, a great way to end Raw. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah, 3.25 to 3.5 stars for this one. Big E, you know his saying, big meaty men slapping meat. That's all Big E wants out of his WWE career, and matches like this will help him live that dream. Kevin Owens has been out of the main event scene for so long that it's easy to forget how good he is in big match situations. He is great at adding so many little things to make his performance better. Big E getting the win despite Seth Rollins' interference helps solidify him as a dangerous champion who can beat his opponents with power moves or a simple reversal. And that's all there was to say on that. And then there was that little tension at the end where Big E dropped Kevin Owens with a big ending. And then after Raw went off the air, Seth Rollins, even in that ridiculous suit, he was like, you know what? I know I said no to a title match and all that, but let's do the damn thing. And so we got a WWE Championship match with Big E and Seth Rollins. Unfortunately, there wasn't much to speak of on that one. Nothing really special happened during that, and then Big E sent us home, with a message of thanks and gratitude. He praised our fans, for our crowd for being loud and energetic, enthusiastic from the opening bell to the ending, and it's true, that crowd was pumped, let me tell you. So and you could definitely feel it. So no doubt about that. So 3.25, 3.5. Looking forward to the match next week. Rollins versus Owens, no strangers to one another. We've seen it before many a times. Of course, most notably WrestleMania 36 in the Performance Center, when they had that what started as a regular match and then became a no disqualification match after, and KO did that epic dive off there. So we'll see what happens. So 3.25, 3.5 stars for that. So with that being said, we're going to get to the overall review. Didi Whitson, we'll start it off with you. How'd this show come off to you on TV?
I would say it was about 7.5 out of 10. It was a very, very good show. Ending was definitely a little rocky, but it still was, was good. But most of the matches were pretty solid. But yeah, we had some good segments, definitely storyline driven. So, not much more I'm going to add to it. So I will see you guys Friday. Good night.
All right. Good night, Didi. We'll see you Friday night. And this week's show ended up delivering on the pro wrestling while still managing to feature a lot of other segments and storyline developments. It just proves that WWE can be good if it wants to. And we talked about it at MEF. We talked about it on this show last week about Providence rolling out the red carpet for us. And they sure as hell, WWE rolling out the red carpet for Providence. And they sure as hell did last night. Not one bad match on this show. The only gripe I really have with last night's show. The only gripe I have with last night's show is that we didn't get any build to Survivor Series. There's only 2 Raws left after last night. This Monday's Raw from Louisville and wherever they're going to be on the 15th. Just those 2 Raws, and then we're at Survivor Series at the Barclays. I would have liked to have seen some build towards Survivor Series. That's my only little gripe about this show. But other than that, it was so damn great to be back at the Dunk for our first WWE show in 895 days. And it was well worth the wait from everything we've been through, with us getting kiboshed twice because of that damn COVID. But, all I can say is, like I said in my Facebook post, it was such a blessing and an honor to be there with my 2 best friends, Good Old MF Michael Fletcher and the Phenom Michael Bullock. And, it was 895 days in the making, and it was well worth the wait, the long wait, as well as the price of admission. And on behalf of all of us here, we simply say thank you, WWE, until we meet again. And that will, of course, be on Mother's Day night, May 8th, 2022. It's not a Monday Night Raw. It's not a Friday Night SmackDown. It's not a house show. For the first time in 13 years, if you don't know by now, next time we're there. Unless they come back sooner, you never know. But if they do come back sooner, we'll see. But if not, next time we're there, I'm gonna be doing something I've never done before, and that is be there to witness a pay-per-view event live. Never been done for me before. Second for MF, it would be the third for Bullock. Bullock went to the 97 King of the Ring and Armageddon 2005. MF got to go to Backlash 2009. And this is going to be a bucket list moment for me and then some come Mother's Day night. So the only thing I'm hoping for is that it's not a ho-hum hokey B pay-per-view. I'm hoping that it's either the Elimination Chamber or Hell in a Cell. That's what I want, personally. Because it's not going to be a Big Four, and it's not going to be Money in the Bank. Allegiant Stadium's getting Money in the Bank. That's crazy. But if it's the Chamber or Hell in a Cell or some gimmick pay-per-view, I'll be super for it. But then again, who cares? I mean, it's a pay-per-view. Something that me, MF, and our fellow Providence fans have been wanting for a long time. So 13 long years, and it'll be well worth the wait come Mother's Day night, unless they come back sooner. But we'll see. There was a rating that the guys and I agreed on, and I'm going to follow through on that rating. 8 to 8.5 out of 10 for me. One of the best Monday Night Raws of 2021. And thank you, WWE, for rolling out the red carpet for us and treating us so damn royally. And hey, you scratch our backs, we'll scratch yours. And that's why we brought the energy the way we did last night. So can't wait to do it again. If it's sooner, great. But if it's the pay-per-view, that's fine too. So nothing much more to say. 8.5. MF, are we gonna hold on to that rating?
We are holding on to that rating. It is 8 to 8.5. We did all agree on this one. We said it was an incredible show. Being in the arena again, being back for WWE to be back in Providence. This is actually the first non-hockey event. The first event that actually brought the dunk back was AHL hockey, the Providence Bruins, and this is the first non-hockey event that has brought back the fans in the Civic Center, and it absolutely delivered in spades. I don't think there's anything better than what we just saw. I enjoyed it. I really thought it was an incredible show, and we had the blast. Shout out to everybody from WWE and even to the fans. That place was packed. I know there's been some exaggeration about attendance and that that it's not as filled as it used to be and everything else. Let me tell you, that was pretty packed last night. I'd probably say just based off eyeballing it, normally the Civic Center fills about maybe, I want to say about 10 to 12,000, and it looked like there was a good 8-9,000 in that arena. Like it looked like the entire lower bowl, and especially where we were, it was filled. It was completely filled. So I mean, they did a good job with it. They did a very good job with it, to say the very least. So yes, WWE came back and Providence represented proudly. So nothing more to say. Anthony, on to your Tony's take.
Yes, because we've got something very special potentially coming down the pipeline here. We got something going on right now. As you know, tonight, right now, we got Game 6 of the World Series. It's in the top of the 9th inning right now. And MF's Braves are leading the Houston Astros 7-0. They are 3 defensive outs away from something that has not happened in 26 years. And time permitting, we may give you some bonus commentary on this. We may do something really special on this. So hold on to your hats. That's all there is to say on that. So I hope the time permits, because I would love for us to really, do something really special on this show tonight. Make this show even more special than it already was, talking about that great show last night. So so with that, yes, there is a Tony's Take here, of course. And we are going to start it off with Impact Wrestling from last week, from their new Impact Zone. The new Impact Zone, which is now Sam's Town in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is where the Bound for Glory pay-per-view took place on October the 23rd. And we're going to start it off with that. So let's see what I got. So the fallout from Bound for Glory. And we started it off with the Before the Impact match. VSK defeats Sam Beal. I'm not going to really get into that. We started it off with all right, we start off with the brand new Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion Moose. He cuts a promo and he was interrupted by Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards and Moose get into a brawl, and then Josh Alexander comes out, and all hell broke loose during that. And very explosive segment to start. And then we start the match with an X Division Championship match. Trey Miguel, in his first title defense after winning the title at Bound for Glory, defending against someone that I'm sure MF knows very well from New Japan Pro Wrestling. MF, I'm sure you heard the name of Rocky Romero.
Yes, I do. Oh my God, Rapoki Vice's own Rocky Romero, man. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big get for Impact Wrestling to get Rocky Romero. Yes.
And he challenged Trey Miguel for the X Division Championship. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the match, it was the winner and still X Division champion. I don't have a time of the fall. It was Trey Miguel. Solid opener. I'm a bit confused why Rocky would be put in this position, and really Trey should look a bit more dominant as new champ, but still a fun match. But then the post match, Steve Macklin attacked Trey Miguel. So it looks like Steve Macklin and Trey Miguel in the X Division feud. That could be hella fun. Then we had Rachel Ellering one-on-one with Tasha Steelz. Rachel Ellering wins the match. Okay match. Finish was rough. All right, we're going to the bottom of the ninth. I'll try to get through this as quickly as I can. Finish was rough. Pinfall was kind of sloppy. Almost felt like it wasn't the finish, even though it was. Just a bad camera angle and hesitant ref. Hopefully, Rachel gets a strong push going forward. Joe Doring versus Heath Slater. It ends in a no contest. Yeah, what the heck was that finish? Really dumb way to do that, especially when they didn't have to rush back to a match between these two groups of wrestlers. Doring is a sweet hoss, and Heath is thick, but it was only okay, and the finish killed it. Ace Austin versus Chris Sabin, and Ace Austin won the match. It wasn't bad, and I'm glad Ace won, but the distractions were a bit unnecessary, and I'm not sure that this was the best main event they could put together following their biggest event of the year. But we don't book the shows. 7 out of 10. Okay show. Opening segment was full of typical issues and Impact. So much happening without much reason. I get Moose has problems with a lot of people, but we can't get to that a bit more organically. Beyond that, why is Minoru Suzuki so angry at Josh Alexander? But outside of that segment, the matches on the show were good. Nothing was really bad, and Rocky Romero and Trey Miguel was a lot of fun. I do think that Impact could cut back on some of their segments and recognize less is more. Put more emphasis into having 3 or 4 great segments rather than so many okay segments. I may sound nitpicky, as last week's show was overall pretty good, but could have been better for our post-pay-per-view show. So 7 out of 10 for me on that one. I don't know what's on tap for the next show. My computer's slowing up a little bit. So, okay. Ready to go here. Try to get through this real quick. Then it was 205 Live. And just bear with me. You know how slow my system can be at times. Of course. So, yeah, very, very slow indeed. Trying to get this 205 Live review ready for you guys. Okay. Come on. All right. Okay. Any day now. Okay. Very, very slow. Okay. Jeet Rama versus Boa. And Boa won 5-4 in 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Rama actually showed me more here, but Boa has a good look overall. It was fine. Want to see more from both men. 2 stars. Saray versus Katrina Cortez. Saray in 5:58. Another 2 stars. Solid. Solid. I like what I was seeing and want to see more from both of them. Winner was never in doubt, but Cortez looks like a keeper as the crowd digs her. Zion Quinn against Ru Fang. Zion Quinn in 3:58. 1.5. Not much to this one. Fang showed a little before getting steamrolled. Quinn's got a good look and presence. And like everyone else on the show, I'm intrigued by what he can become. Fang is a project that needs more matches, so this is a good place for him. 6 out of 10. If they showed any other name, things would be better. As this will never be 205 Live again. I'm sure they have contracts with Hulu and whoever else for a show called 205 Live, but it's turned into what Elevation is for AEW. And there's nothing wrong with that. These people need to get it working, especially work with a crowd and for TV. For what it is, the show was fine. 6 out of 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, bonus coverage. Michael Bullock is here. Bullock, we're going to catch you up in a little bit because we're going to turn the mic over to good old MF Michael Fletcher for what could be a very special moment, 26 years plus in the making. MF
All right, Anthony, you might want to mute it here. Bottom of the ninth as the Braves are now 3 outs away from the World Series. Will Smith comes in, and it's Michael Brantley takes high for ball 1 to start it. And we are here. Michael Brantley, 1 for 3 tonight, reached on an error, has a single, 304 average, no home runs in this series. And the 1-0 is in their first strike, and it's 1-1. The Braves are now 3 outs away from winning the World Series for the first time since 1995. The 1-1 to Brantley. Swung and fouled. It's 1-2. Max Fried, what a performance he had. Bounced back from a shaky performance in Game 2. Came back, had an incredible performance here tonight. Got him to the 7th, and then turned it over to the bullpen. Brantley 1 for 3 on the night. The 1-2. And it's low, and it's 2-2. So 2-2 the count. And a lot of fans for the Braves making the trek to Houston. And here we go. 2-2. Just miss on the outside. It's 3-2. It's a full count. Correa on deck. They're just looking for anything. And this one gets laced over the jumping attempt and a base hit. Lead man on for the Astros. So first man on. This gives it to Carlos Correa. So Carlos Correa to bat. Brantley on first. 7-0 Braves. 3 outs away from the World Series trophy. Dusty Baker just hoping for something, a miracle. Strike one, beautiful pitch, 94 miles an hour on the outside corner. The 0-1. Strike two. Perfect pitch. Right near the knees. Fans holding a sign of "We love Correa." Could this be his last time in the Houston Astros uniform? 0-2. Low, ball one. All right. The 1-2 on the way. Fly ball in the right. Playable. One away. Duvall makes the catch. Atlanta now 2 outs away from the world title. And now it comes Dusty Baker, incredible job after the scandal, the cheating scandal, and then, of course, Brian Snitker, the longtime Atlanta Brave, been in the system for almost 40 years, and now could get himself a title. Alvarez first. Strike one as that goes pop foul. The man who was the American League, the ALCS MVP when he dominated the Boston Red Sox, has been relatively quiet in this World Series. The 0-1 forthcoming from Smith. Just missed. Fox Track called that a strike, but it was not a strike after all. Smith looking to hammer this down. Strike at the knees. It's 1-2. Just about ready to go. Bottom of the ninth. 1 out. Runner at first. That was Brantley who got the single. And that one was low in the dirt, and it's 2-2. Rosario just standing there. Duvall looking at the moment, knowing they're just 2 outs away from the title. Smith. The 2-2 on the way. Just missed outside, and it's 2-2. A chant of "Let's Go Astros." And now a full count pitch to Alvarez. Is a fly ball to left. Playable. 1 out away. Rosario with the catch. The Braves are now 1 out away from the World Series crown. The last time we had a shutout in a clinching game, 2005 Game 4, on this very field, when it was the Chicago White Sox winning the World Series, sweeping the Houston Astros. Gurriel, the last hope. Strike 1. Yuri Gurriel. The 0-1. Fouled off. The Braves are 1 strike away. The 0-2. Ground ball to short. This could do it.
Here it is.
First, the Atlanta Braves. Braves a winner. A World Series winner for the first time since 1995. The Atlanta Braves are the World Series champions.
Oh, hell yeah!
Celebrate, Fletch!
Celebrate! If you got it in ya, go ahead and celebrate! Woo! Tell me, baby, what's my name? Woo! Tell me, honey. All right.
Oh, man. Congratulations to the Atlanta Braves, your 2021 World Series champions. How does that sound, Fletch?
Oh,
How you doing?
This has got to feel like a dream for you. Except this is no dream, Fletch.
Oh,
It's
no.
real.
It's real. It's damn real. You're world champion, kid. How about it?
Now you know how I feel, Fletch.
And how I felt.
That feeling.
We got the Brotherhood
especially
Grand
that
Slam,
feeling
baby.
when
Yeah.
The Brotherhood Grand Slam for the Millennium. First, it was me and Derek with the Yankees. Then it was Bullock with the Red Sox. Matt Ward, and only fitting, 5 years ago tonight, Matt Ward and his Chicago Cubs ended the drought. 5 years later, this man right here, good old MF Michael Fletcher.
Your team's wearing it.
The Atlanta Braves, World Series champions.
Shirts.
How does that sound?
Wow, man.
I got a feeling, Fletch, you're gonna be one to purchase that.
He's gonna channel his inner Bullock. There's no doubt about that one. He's channeling you, Bullock. He's gonna channel his inner you. He's gonna get the hat and the shirt and everything that goes with it, I'm sure.
And well deserving.
I never thought I'd see this again in my lifetime. I never thought I'd do. I never thought I'd see it. But
all I can say is, Fletch, I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy for Braves Nation.
Ditto for me.
You deserve this, Fletch.
Bullock,
you deserve
Bullock, there's only one thing left to do, and this one's for you, MF. Come on, Bullock. You deserve it.
You deserve it.
You deserve it.
Can you imagine, Fletch, some of the Atlanta Braves greats that have, I mean, like, even John Smoltz in the booth. Imagine what he's feeling right now. And I'll also say,
sure looks pretty damn good right now, man. I mean, look at that.
And look at the emotion of Freddie Freeman.
Look at the emotion on MF.
And there's a special person probably looking down and smiling with a Cheshire cat. And you know who I'm talking about.
This was for 44, man.
Henry.
For you, man.
That's
you got
it.
to experience it in 1957 with the Milwaukee Braves when they beat the Yankees. So the Brotherhood Grand Slam is now complete for the Millennium. Myself, Derek Ferreira with the New York Yankees in the 2000s. Bullock in the late 2000s and early 2010 and in the 2010s with his Red Sox. Matt Ward, 2016 Chicago Cubs. And like I said, 5 years to the day that Ward and the Cubs had their special moment, erasing the 108-year drought.
And
tonight,
don't forget Dee Dee Woodson and Kevin Woodson and St. Louis.
Oh, and Uncle Ed, yes.
And Uncle Ed. I mean, this was for them as well. I mean, I'm at a loss for words, guys. I mean,
Aaron, this championship.
I always dream that, maybe one day we would get it again. We came so close about a year ago, and now, to win it, I know we wanted it to win it in Atlanta. We wanted to win it in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
But then there was the questions, the doubts. Oh, it's 3-1. Atlanta hasn't won when they get this close. Some way, somehow they choke. You hear about the 28-3 when it's the Atlanta Falcons. You hear about the choke job that Georgia did in the national championship game against
Alabama.
The national championship game against Alabama. We heard it a year ago when we lost the NLCS to the Los Angeles Dodgers and lost when we were up 3-1 and lost that series. We had a lot of demons to exercise on so many levels. We beat the Dodgers, finished them off in Atlanta, and then 3-1. Yes, we did lose Game 5, but what really set us up was that we had Soler, we had Dansby, we had Freddie, we had Max. Max was absolutely phenomenal tonight. I mean, he literally played out of his mind here tonight and gave us the opportunity to do what just happened here tonight. And
just think, Fletch, with all the adversity that this team went through, losing your star player, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, when that happened, I was like, oh man,
there goes their
it's
season.
not.
I think a lot of people felt that way. A lot of people felt that way. A lot of people felt that this was not going to happen. A lot of people felt that way. A lot of people felt like oh, this team's good, but I don't think they're going to get there because, that was too big of a loss. You know what? Alex Anadopoulos deserves so much credit because what he did was to get, guys like Eddie Rosario, to get guys like, Jorge Soler, guys who were, you didn't know if they were going to mesh or not. Then we got Jacques Peterson. Then we got Adam Duvall. Those pieces came together, and oh my god,
Well,
man, I can't believe this is
MF,
about to happen.
would it make you feel better if we gave you a few minutes to recover here, just to catch your breath for a minute? And but
I'll
we're
say
gonna do
one
something
more
very
thing.
special because we gotta catch Bullock up. We gotta get his thoughts on the show last night. But MF, hold on,
I'll
hang
say one
on.
more thing. I'll say
Because
one
what we're
more
gonna
thing
do,
for it.
yep, what we're gonna do as soon as Bullock is done with his overall review, we're gonna I'll do my traditional sign off, and we're gonna let MF take it home, and we're gonna let him do the Joe Buck type close to end this thing. It's only fitting that he has the last word on this night. So but there it is, folks. Breaking news: for the first time since 1995, good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Atlanta Braves are World Series champions. Wow.
And it'll all come through when that trophy gets presented.
And it's going to be presented momentarily. I'm sure Kevin Burkhardt will be on hand to preside over that presentation. We'll let MF get his emotions under control because I know he's because you saw the emotion. I mean, he's waited 26 years plus for this moment, and I mean, all right. So I know we're all caught up in that right now, as we should be. I mean, it's a special moment, and what a moment. So, all right, Bullock, let's get you caught up on, of course, last night's Monday Night Raw, as we were there at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island, for Monday Night Raw. And so we started it out, of course. I already addressed the main event tapings and the dark match after, so we're not going to address that again. So we'll get into the Raw show. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Raw Women's Championship. As we know, Becky Lynch retains the title. Time of the fall, 18 minutes and 40 seconds.
And what did you rate it?
We gave it between 4 to 4.25. But go with your gut on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4 stars. I mean, this was certainly a great way to start off this edition of Monday Night Raw, and instead of a talking promo here, but what else would you expect with these two? I mean, we expected them to deliver, and boy howdy, they delivered. So, yeah. So I guess we can say, Florio, it's now time for these two to move on to bigger and better things now. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say.
And as we saw later in the night, that was that ended up being Liv Morgan. We saw it. I mean, Liv Morgan came out, and we saw that backstage segment, and it looks like Liv Morgan might be the next in line to challenge for the title. So, which would be very interesting. Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory. Austin Theory wins by disqualification, 10.5 minutes. What was that call at the end there, Bullet? We couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but the thing is, unfortunately, I mean, the ref, let's just say, well, Dominic Mysterio got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and he basically disqualified him. So I was going to give this 3 stars, but because of the disqualification, I can only give it 2.5.
All right, fair enough. Then we had the in-ring segment. Seth Rollins interrupted by the WWE Champion Big E, and then interrupted by Kevin Owens, and it led to what ended up being our main event of the evening, which we'll get into in a bit. Big E versus Kevin Owens came out of that. So how about that segment? Segment of the night, hands down.
Yeah, segment of the night for me. I mean, this was definitely a good segment here. I mean, Seth Rollins trying to be the trouble starter and basically getting into the heads of both Big E and Kevin Owens. Well, Big E tried to goat Seth Rollins into a match for the title, but Rollins is like, nah, we're gonna do it on my terms. And Owens is like, fine, you don't want to fight Biggie? I'm a fighter, and I'll fight him tonight. So that's what sets it up.
Indeed. So then we had the women's tag team champions Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH versus Queen Zelina Vega and Carmella. And Queen Zelina and Carmella win the match in 8 minutes and 15 seconds.
I'll give this 2.25 stars. I mean, this was a good match, and I think we found ourselves our next challengers for the women's tag team titles.
Indeed. Championship committee moment, no question about that. Finn Balor versus Chad Gable. Finn Balor wins the match by 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Fun little sprint.
Yeah, it was a fun little sprint. I'll give it about maybe 1.5 stars, 1.5 to maybe 2. But yeah, it was a fine match, so nothing else to say.
All right. So and then from there, we had the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins versus the Dirty Dogs, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, with RK Bro, the tag team champions, on commentary. Dirty Dogs win the match 10 minutes and 55 seconds. We saw, and then we saw that exciting altercation with Randy Orton and Otis after.
You mean Omas?
Yeah, Omas, yes.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a fun match here. I'll give it about maybe 3 stars for the effort here. And yeah, and everybody tried to get a piece of Omas, and yeah, that didn't go so well, so nothing else to say.
All right. And then from there, this is the fight that ended up being the sleeper fight of the night and damn near stole the show. The United States Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest versus T-Bar. No disqualification match. Winner of the match in an even 13 minutes, Damian Priest, Bullock. I mean, that ending, though, with the chair shots and all that stuff. Wow.
Whew, man, oh man, this was freaking crazy. I'll give it about 3.5 stars. I mean, what a match this was. We thought this was going to be a Be a Man fight, and this definitely was a Be a Man fight, hands down. I mean, but it seems as though it looks like Damian Priest has his next challenger, and that would be Apollo Crews. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say, and there it is, Florio. It is official.
There it is.
The Braves have been handed the trophy, and oh man.
Oh my goodness. That's all there is to say on that. I mean, I never thought I'd see this sight again in my lifetime, but here we are. It's happened. So, what a moment. And like I said, after I'm done with the sign off and all that, we're gonna let MF have the last word, Joe Buck style. So, all right. Then it led into the main event of the evening: Biggie versus Kevin Owens. Biggie wins the match, 12 minutes and 50 seconds.
3.25 stars for this main event here, and yeah, and obviously Big E sent some chicanery and basically took out Kevin Owens, and yeah, so obviously Rollins continuing to play the mind games here. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. Let's get into overall thoughts.
And you remember what MF said as we were leaving last night, and MF said he rated it 8.5. I rated it 8 to 8.5. What says you? Are you gonna hold to that?
I'm gonna hold to that 8 to 8.5. I mean, this is one of the best Raws we've seen in a long time, and it's only fitting that they put on a good show, especially since it was in our neck of the woods here. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Kudos to Monday Night Raw, and yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Florio, put a bow on it.
Yep, I'm gonna put a bow on it, and then I'm gonna hand it off to MF as only he can. So all right, so that will put the bow on this most exciting. This was definitely the ridiculously Raw of 2021 so far. I mean, not only talking about the great time that we had last night in Providence, but to get to share in a very special moment for our own good old MF Michael Fletcher, a moment that he's waited over 26 years for. And to share that with him, I mean, and to have all of us here for that. I mean, last night was one thing, but this just might be even better. So what a moment. And but yes, before I give it to MF for a very special close, that will put the bow on this. We'll be back with you tomorrow night, provided we're all recovered, of course, but I'm sure we will be. Tomorrow night, of course, Wednesday Night Mayhem. We'll be back at our usual start time at 10:30 over on MF5. Although you might want to consider changing that now, MF 2021. Just saying, but we'll see. But I'm sure we'll keep it that way. But anyways, MF will have it. Even though I'm sure he's still going to be jacked up from this. NXT 2.0, AEW Dynamite. We'll get into that tomorrow night. Thursday night, we got College Football Thursday, and something that we definitely need to address. The College Football Playoff rankings came out, and a lot of questions already, especially one team. That's all I'm going to say. We're just going to leave it at that. Friday night, MF will be back as the host, Cerebral Smack Talk. Friday night, SmackDown, AEW Rampage. We'll get into that. And then Saturday night, I'll be with you for NFL Saturday. A lot of big news. Of course, unfortunately, Derrick Henry, significant injury. A lot of big injuries. And, of course, big trade that went down for the Los Angeles Rams. We'll address that. And we'll get into all the big games for the NFL week number 9. And it's been announced that Jorge Soler is the 2021 World Series MVP, rightfully so, especially after that moonshot that he hit tonight. And that's really all they needed. So, but they got a little more, and they did the right thing on that, because you never know with that Houston team. But anyways, Saturday, NFL Saturday, and then we'll be back at our normal time following Raw Monday night, the penultimate Monday Night Raw before Survivor Series. So with all that being said, that will put the bow on this. So until tomorrow night, for Wednesday Night Mayhem, it's Anthony Florio here for the world champion, good old MF Michael Fletcher, and the phenom Michael Bullock. And, of course, Dee Woodson, and always and forever, the Yankee Messiah 401, who made this all possible in the first place, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style, and we are damn sure throwing it up Fortune 4 style for the Atlanta Braves tonight. Well done. Hell of a job. Enjoy. That's all I'm going to say. And then from there, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Wednesday. I know MF's gonna. And have a blessed Wednesday. And until tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Mayhem, you've been watching this very special and exciting Tuesday night edition of Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamyard.com. And remember, after what we saw at the Dunk last night and after what we just saw moments ago here, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bullock, put your mic on mute. I'm going to do mine as well. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one man who deserves to have the last word tonight, and that is our Joe Buck, good old MF, a.k.a. Screaming Michael Fletcher. It's all yours, babe.
Tonight was a very epic evening, to say the very least, from all of us here. It turned into a great wrestling show. Now it's even bigger because now it's a World Series championship win for the Atlanta Braves. And, for me, as a Braves fan, I'm still in a state of shock right now. I still cannot believe this has just happened. And I'm over the moon. This baseball season has been a very unique one, an incredible one, because now we truly had the fans back, and we truly had a full season, 162 games, the postseason, and everything was amazing. Record numbers from the crowds, record numbers in the ratings. Actually, this was one of the highest rated World Series in recent years. That's how good that this series has been. And without a doubt, it's a fitting end to an incredible season, to say the very least. Hats off to the Houston Astros for being the champions that they were and that they are, and continuing that great run all the way to making it all the way to the World Series. And now it is a dawning of a new era. The Atlanta Braves are the world champions of baseball. Now a lot of questions will be made about what will happen next. But right now, it's all about Atlanta, and it's all about them being the World Series champions. It was an incredible night, an incredible World Series, and it will be one that me personally, I'll never forget. So, for all of us here on Ridiculously Raw, from the family of the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports, for Dee Woodson, for Mike Bullock, for Anthony Florio, I am Michael Fletcher, saying good night. We will see you tomorrow night. So long for now.